all are loved and honored and remembered today.
For these families standing here, they were the last families standing nearly 2 years ago.
It hurts all the time, but it's even worse today. So we're just trying to get through the day.
In some ways, it seems like an eternity. In some ways, it seems like it was just yesterday.
But it has been 2 years. Today marks 2 years since 19 children and 2 teachers were killed inside their classroom. 2 years since 21 families and an entire community were changed forever.
Now, throughout the day, events have been taking place in Uvalde to honor and remember the people that we lost on May 24th, 2022.
Right now, we have crews live in Uvalde who've been covering this somber day throughout that community.
And our Daniela Ibarra, who you see on your screen, is going to join us live from the amphitheater. That's where people will gather for a vigil in honor of the victims and their families. That's going to start at 7:30.
But first, let's go to Steve Spriester, who is live in Uvalde Town Square. He is anchoring our coverage from there tonight. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Myra. Hi, Stephanie. Today is all about the 21 lives lost. And as you said, we're here at Square Park, which has been a gathering place really before this incident ever happened, but certainly since. The 21 crosses that you see behind me. There have been people who I've visited with here at Town Square and at Robb Elementary who told me they just felt like this is where they needed to be today to show that they remember the lives lost. They remember the 21. And when we were at Robb Elementary earlier, we met this little girl. Her name is Valeria, and she was putting roses in front of the 21 crosses. She's a Robb Elementary survivor. She was in the classroom right across the hall from where the shooting happened. This is her second time coming back to a place that has horrible memories for her, but she says she does it so her friends know she still remembers.
They made a lot of people smile.
Do you still smile when you think of them?
Sometimes.
Just trying to help her out and find her peace. We don't come here often. We came last year for the 1 year, and then this is the second time that she stepped ground in school.
Yeah.
We don't come to this area a whole lot, just to make her feel better, I guess, to help her.
A mother and daughter struggling through this day like so many in this community. But Valeria had her Uvalde Strong shirt on and those earrings. I don't know if you noticed them. They had wings and the number 21 on them. The hope, I think, for many today is a day of healing, though they're also frustrated by the lack of action and accountability in this community even 2 years later. And tributes for the 21 victims have gone on throughout the day. Some in the community are marking this as a day of remembrance, but they're also calling it a day of action. Let's check in with our Daniela Ibarra, who is at the Uvalde Amphitheater right now with more on how different people are paying their respects in different ways. Daniela.
Hi, Steve. We're at the Uvalde Amphitheater where in just a couple hours, several family members, loved ones, and friends of the 21 victims of Robb Elementary, they're going to be here tonight to pay tribute with a candlelight vigil. Now, like you said, people have been honoring them all day, and we were actually out where you are right now, Steve, at the main plaza earlier today, where a group of the family and friends and survivors of Robb Elementary were. They were wearing orange shirts and had orange flags that brightened up the plaza. It's part of a demonstration against gun violence. Robb shooting survivors Arnulfo Reyes and AJ Martinez were among them. The group stayed there for 77 minutes, which is how long it took the law enforcement to confront the gunmen back on May 24th of 2022. Now, we spoke with Reyes' aunt, Dolores, who tells us she hopes that that demonstration creates change.
I'm supporting Uvalde and the parents and to stop future violence on schools because our children are the future.
And several of those children honoring their friends today. And Steve, one of the things that struck me, I spoke with several people today, some of them who came from San Antonio. Like you said, they felt like they had to be here. And between the 5 and the 6, we actually had a marathoner who ran past. She came all the way from San Antonio, ran 70 miles because she felt like she needed to be here to pay tribute to those 21 victims.
Yeah, doing whatever they can in whatever way they can to show this 21 and to show this community that people still care about them. Daniela, thank you very much for that report. The scars here in Uvalde from 2 years ago, they are mental, but they're also physical. And there's one teacher who knows all about that. Arnolfo Arnie Reyes was in the classroom 2 years ago. He had his students hide behind a table as the gunman entered. He was shot 3 times. Today, he is being honored by the group Lives Robbed, of the family of those who lost their lives at Robb. Lives Robbed honored him with the award and named it after him. I talked to him for the first time about that honor and what today means to him.
Talk about being given the first Lives Robbed award for teachers and having it named after you.
I mean, it's like a big honor. If you know me, I always have something to say, but I'm totally speechless about that. About having an award or a scholarship, whatever, named after me is just who thinks that something like that will ever happen to them in their lifetime?
There's a thing called survivor's guilt. Did you have that? Do you have it?
Absolutely, I do. I had it right soon after I found out that I had lost all my students. It's why me? Why did I survive and not them? Eva and Ms. Garcia and Ms. Mireles is they had families, and so survivor's guilt kicked in right after that, and it's just why me? And I've learned to accept it and to not get over it, but to accept it in a sense that I can try to live my life every day. But in this month, it's started all over again.
When you think back to that day, what goes through your mind?
It just all the tragedy that happened in so little time.
When was the first moment that you realized something was wrong in the school?
I would say as the bangs got closer to the classroom, because at first they were far away, they sounded far away, and they had paused for a little bit, and then when they got closer, that was my sign that something was wrong.
His story is a powerful one, and if you want to watch more of my interview with Arnie Reyes, it is a Spreester session right now, and you can get that on KSAT.com and all of our streaming platforms. But what Arnie also told me is he knows that right now the name Uvalde is linked to this tragedy. He hopes that there'll be some sort of action. He hopes that there'll be some sort of accountability. He told me he has seen the videotape of DPS right outside the door, of school district officers right outside the door, of Uvalde police right outside the door. And he says he asks himself every day, why didn't they do something? It's just some of the scars that are left here 2 years after what happened at Robb Elementary. Stephania, Myra.
Such a difficult question to still be left with for all of the survivors and the families as well. Steve, thank you so much.
Yeah, we'll have more of this coverage coming up at 6:30 as well. All right, let's turn to the forecast now. Adam, that summer heat, it is very much here.
Yes, the average high July, August, 97, 98 degrees, or I should say 96, 97 degrees. We're there and above it all weekend. High temperatures will be right near 100. So feeling like the peak of our summertime heat. But when you factor in the humidity, the heat index at times will get up to 112. Actually, that's what the heat index was just last hour, up to about 112 for that feels like temperature. Storm chances, they do return a little bit as we get into next week. We're going to talk about all that in a moment, along with the haze, very thick haze from the smoke, latest satellite imagery, and how this is impacting air quality in a few minutes.
All right, we'll see you then. Thanks, Adam. Let's take a look at traffic out there right now. This is I-10 at Frio. This is where construction has things down to one lane closed, rather. It is very slow going. I just drove through this yesterday, and if you don't have to, if you just stay on the lower level, if you don't have to go on the upper level, that's a good way to avoid this slowdown here at I-10 and Frio headed out of downtown.
Yeah, it's not something you want to encounter Memorial Day weekend. Now, undetermined, that was what investigators found when they examined the remains of 5-year-old Dominic Aguilar Acevedo to find out how that little boy died. He passed away right here in San Antonio back in 2021, allegedly at the hands of his mother's boyfriend, Daniel Garcia.
We have been covering Garcia's trial all week long, and Erica Hernandez reports that testimony revealed despite no cause of death, Dominic still had numerous injuries.
In August 2021, Dominic Aguilar Acevedo was found along this hillside in Colorado, left there allegedly by his mom, Nicole Aguilar, and her boyfriend, Daniel Garcia, a month before. They were all staying at a San Antonio hotel when, according to testimony by Aguilar, Garcia started physically abusing Dominic until he died on July 24, 2021. All week, we've been hearing testimony in Garcia's trial, and as a Colorado medical examiner took the stand, he told the jury what he determined when he examined Dominic's remains.
Were you able to arrive at a conclusion as to how Dominic Aguilar died?
Not conclusively, no.
And why is that?
Because I had so little of him to examine.
A FBI anthropologist echoed that same determination, but when she examined the bones, she did notice fractures in Dominic's jaw, shoulder blade, ribs, and his hip bone.
That the injury occurred prior to death. We know they occurred before death because we can see the body's response.
Testimony has ended for the day and will resume next Tuesday morning. By Wednesday, the jury is expected to deliberate. It will be up to them to decide if Garcia is guilty or not guilty. Advocate in the Reeves Justice Center, Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
In less than 60 days, you might have the opportunity to take a nonstop flight from San Antonio International Airport to Washington, D.C. We've been covering this development. President Biden has signed the Federal Aviation Administration bill into law. That creates 5 new round-trip flights to Reagan National Airport. And today, city and state leaders met at our airport here to talk about San Antonio being one of those. Mayor Ron Nierenberg explains how those flights could benefit the city.
Non-stop access will strengthen our military and economic ties and allow for greater collaboration with federal agencies, military installations, and leading research institutions.
Now, San Antonio has not had a nonstop flight to D.C. because of the FAA's perimeter rule. It restricts nonstop flights to D.C. to within 1,250 miles of that airport. San Antonio's outside of that. We're 1,600 miles away. But this new bill allows for exceptions to that rule.
All right, we'll keep watching that. Now, still ahead on the news at 6. The city's mental health program is right in the midst of an expansion. How the teams are adjusting now as they prepare to work nonstop.
But first, let's take a quick look outside with Live Cam. Memorial Day, the unofficial kickoff to summer, and it's going to feel like it. Meteorologist Adam Caskey will talk heat and humidity coming up. SA Corp, San Antonio's mental health program, is in the middle of a rapid expansion. A police officer, a paramedic, a clinician, they are all sent out as a 3-person team to mental health calls.
And now our Garrett Berger tells us how they're adjusting as they go from just working downtown to working around the city and also around the clock.
KSAT saw firsthand the soft touch that the SA Corps team brings to its calls during a ride-along last year.
Tell us how we can help you out today.
The goal of each 3-member team is to help the person in crisis. Many times they can resolve things on scene, and only in the rarest cases do they arrest someone.
I think the importance that helps that is just taking the person to the correct facility, listening to them, and navigating it safely for them.
The success of a pilot program by downtown and the near west side prompted council members last year to approve an even larger expansion than what staff suggested. They didn't just want coverage for the whole city. They wanted it 24/7.
We have been reaching out to mental health providers and organizations that work in this space, and they've been very supportive of it.
The program took the first expansion step and went citywide with 3 teams in January. It's expected to take the step to around-the-clock coverage in July. San Antonio fire paramedic Isaac Gomez has been with the program since the city was just trying it out.
I'm actually proud that we're moving forward this quickly and that we have the support.
The teams don't go to every call. For example, they stay away from ones with a weapon. And with more than 32,000 mental health calls in San Antonio each year, they can't get to all of them either.
I wish we could have more SA Corps teams that could respond to all of those. It's right now not a reality. Maybe one day it will be.
Given council's affinity for the program, further expansion does seem possible, if not immediately.
This is going to be beyond this council. I mean, this is going to be years where we can get to the point where we're handling majority of mental health issues with SA Corps, an SA Corps team.
Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
All right, there's heat, there's humidity, and there's a whole lot of haze out there, Adam.
Yeah, Triple H. Heat, humidity, and a lot of haze. Let's actually get right to it and take a look at the satellite imagery. And this is really the best way to sum it up. And you look from Mexico and southern Mexico northward up the Gulf of Mexico, and you see this plume of smoke that's streaming northward from the low-level winds. Now, this is the annual agricultural burning in Mexico, and the winds push it up into Texas often this time of year, and that's what we're dealing with at the moment. In turn, we have that thick haze in the sky. Here's a time lapse over the past, just about hour and a half. And normally in this shot, you can see downtown right in the center part of your screen. This is I-10 and 410, and we're used to seeing the outline of downtown right here. Can't even make it out, not at all throughout the day. And that's because of the thick smoke and the haze that's in the air caused by the smoke. And it is impacting our air quality a little bit. You look at the air quality across our region, and particularly in and around San Antonio, and this is the time of the day when the air quality is usually at its worst during the peak heating of the day. And in and around San Antonio, in these pink areas, that's where it's actually turning a little unhealthy. Now, in other areas, the orange, that's unhealthy if you have a really sensitive respiratory system. But we're starting to get into those unhealthy levels, mainly because of that smoke that's in the air. For most of us, what we'll notice is a more vibrant sunset again this evening. This was from yesterday evening when we had similar amounts of smoke in the air, and Mike Jones took this beautiful shot, and it gives the sunrises and sunsets more vibrant colors, and really just a bright red is what you see at sunset. So anticipate that sunset close to 8:30 p.m. Looking at the high temperatures today, technically and officially in San Antonio, 98, so ignore that 97. Del Rio topped out at 109, Eagle Pass 102, but that's just part of the story. We need to factor in the humidity, and heat indices are at and above 110. We're feeling that heat index. The air is thick with the humidity, dew points in the 70s, and that's going to be the case through the weekend. Quiet on a satellite and radar. We've got the activity off to the north of Austin up I-35, especially in and around Dallas-Fort Worth. This yellow box indicating where the severe thunderstorms are potential, or the potential for those storms this evening, and some action across the northern tier of the country. For us, by Monday, our weather pattern shifts a little bit into a pattern that's more conducive for leftovers of West Texas and North Texas storms. So assuming those come together, we have a 20% chance of getting the leftovers starting late on Monday and then daily thereafter. Unfortunately, it's only a 20% chance. I wish I had better news, but that's all we can drum up right now. So really cross your fingers for a lot to form in North and West Texas next week, and then that'll increase our odds. By 10 o'clock, 85 degrees. Midnight, we're right near 80. Upper 70s every morning through the weekend. High temperatures right near 100. By the way, Sunday and Monday, we are predicting triple digits officially in San Antonio. That would tie the record high for each day. But keep in mind, the heat index up to about 112 each afternoon all the way through Memorial Day.
All right, here we go. Thanks, Adam.
Bernie's also hot.
Bernie is very hot. So yesterday they won by 10 runs. Today they won by 1, advancing to the regional finals. We got those highlights for you coming up. Plus the Brahmas are in town and they're ready to face an unbeaten squad coming up.
We actually found it today. So the kids called it the rally turtle. I guess it worked.
It is a rally turtle, but it's a little nervous. So
we found him in our parking lot this morning, and yeah, we just kept him, took him along for the ride, and he's our good luck charm now, I guess.
The Bernie Greyhounds rally turtle helped them edge out the Bishop Badgers today in big board sports. Wolf Stadium was the site of Game 2 between the Bernie Greyhounds and the Bishop Badgers today. The Class 4A regional semifinals. Bernie won Game 1 last night, 13-3. Top of the 6th, no score. Gabe Garcia hits a ball to center field, and the Greyhounds' Dylan Perez makes a diving catch for the out. Great play. Bottom 6, runner on second base for Hudson Hendricks, and he comes up with a base knock to left field. Walker Hill rounds third base, and he beats the throw home, and the Greyhounds lead 1-0. That's your only run of the game. The Greyhounds win 1-0, advancing to the Class 4A Region 4 finals. Bernie's starting pitcher Jackson Grimes tossed a one-hitter to lead the way.
I think it's really important just to be able to get momentum and going into the next series feeling confident, and going into the week just feeling good. Everyone being good hitting, good on the field. I don't think we had any errors, so just great effort from everyone.
Yeah, it was huge. I mean, they're a really good team, but we trust in ourselves, we trust each other, and we knew the balls would fall, just had a matter of time. You know, anytime you can sweep a series, that's huge. You know, it just speaks to the testament of these kids. You know, we battle, whether, you know, I told them earlier, whether we win by 10 or by 1, you know, we just gotta have one more at the end, so it was nice to get that.
The Greyhounds will face the winner of Needville and Cal Allen for the regional championship, and those two will play tonight at 7 in Corpus, and Coach Curtin said he plans to go watch it. The NCAA softball super regional is underway up in Austin, and number 16 Texas A&M leads number 1 Texas 3-0 in the 4th inning at last check. The Aggies' Trinity Cannon hit a 3-run shot in the bottom of the 1st to give the Aggies the early lead. We'll have more on the night beat. And in the 2024 NAIA Softball World Series, number 1 ranked Our Lady of the Lake University is taking on number 8 Madonna University. That game started at 6 and is scoreless in the top of the 2nd. The Olu Saints are coming off a first-round bye. Madonna won their opener 1-0. The San Antonio Brahmas pulled up to their team hotel this afternoon ahead of their final home game tomorrow. The Brahmas come into this game after making the playoffs last week, but they'll face another tough challenge in the undefeated Birmingham Stallions, who haven't lost a game dating back to the middle of last season. Head coach Wade Wilson and the players are excited for the challenge.
Martinez, the quarterback, is leading rusher in the league, not leading passer, leading rusher. So that's going to be a big challenge for us.
We got to stop number 9. You know, he's the engine that makes the thing go, and we know we got to work together. We got to do our job and just take it one play at a time, and then at the end of the game, we see where it stands, you know. But we definitely plan to come out on top.
I think they're really solid. Just kind of said it this week, kind of a bend, don't break kind of defense. You know, we just got to go out and execute because we know that that's what they're going to do offensively and defensively. So it should be a good battle.
Kickoff for tomorrow's game is at 2 p.m. at the Alamo Dome, and you can watch it live right here. That cracks me up on KSAT 12.
All right, Larry, thank you.
Coming up next, we're going to go back out live to Uvalde with Steve Spriester to talk about what's been done with the hundreds of keepsakes sent from all over the world to that community to try to help them heal. Next. We are continuing our coverage tonight of 2 years since the shooting in Uvalde. After that tragedy, people from all across the world sent hundreds of keepsakes and gifts to the city to try to help comfort people.
So now we're going to go back out live to our Steve Spriester, who is in Uvalde tonight. He sat down with the woman who's working to preserve all of those drawings and the letters that people sent in. Steve.
Yeah, Stephanie and Myra, Tammy Sinclair is a Uvalde native. She's also the librarian, and so she says it's part of her job to preserve these keepsakes as history. She also knows just what this means to this community. The fact that these keepsakes came in from so many different places, pieces from other places, hoping that this community can somehow heal. You have so many items. When you see cards and canvas drawings and art from all over the country,
right,
these are more than just numbers and items to you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. These are people's stories and their hearts and their ways to connect, even though they might not be from here. It's a way that they're showing we're here with you, whether we're not physically, there with you. This is a piece of them for our community, and I think that's really important. This is a piece of our history now, and we want to honor the lives that were lost, and we also want to honor the people that showed up to support, because they are doing that in their own way.
Where do you think the city is? Where do you think the community is right now in the healing process?
That's hard to say. And I would say again that every day is a different day. And there are so many people working towards healing and trying to say, we're here, we want to support. And I think as far as the families, we try to respect and not, call them. We just offer service when they need services. But I think that it's going to be a long road of healing.
It indeed will be a long road. And since we're here at Town Square Park, I want to mention the settlement that happened yesterday between some of the families of Uvalde. It was yesterday or Wednesday, between some of the survivors, for some of the victims' families and the city of Uvalde. Part of that was to make a permanent memorial for the 21, for the lives lost at Robb Elementary. And it is thought that this is the perfect place with the makeshift crosses that you see there right now behind me. It is thought that this will become a permanent memorial to the lives lost at Robb Elementary. I also want to mention many of the families of the victims will be at a candlelight vigil, which will be at the amphitheater tonight. And we're going to head over there as soon as we leave here. Myra, Stephania?
Steve, there's no right path forward for people after something as inexplicable as what happened 2 years ago. That community is creating their own as they go. But there's been an added layer to that effort to heal. There's been a sense of division among people in Uvalde about how to move forward after this tragedy. We've heard that from those who live there. What's your sense of that today? Has that lessened at all?
I asked that question to so many different people, and I can tell you, actually, Myra, there was an op-ed that was published in the Uvalde newspaper today by Kim Rubio. She lost her daughter at Robb Elementary. She ran for mayor, you may remember. She talked about the fact that there are still deep divisions within this community. There's a frustration that there's a lack of action, a lack of accountability, but there's also part of this community that wants people to move on. And she says that is easier said than done for somebody that lost a loved one in such a tragic, in such a tragic way while they were just at school, in the classroom, near the end of the school year. And so the divisions are still here. And, I even talked to the librarian. That was the last question I asked her, if she thought that, Tammy, if she thought that this divisions were healing. And she said it depends on the day. But the divisions are still here. I think the hope is that on a day like today, on the 2-year mark, 2 years after, that this is a day that maybe everybody can come together and remember the 21, a day of remembrance, a day that this community will certainly never forget.
And Steve, you just mentioned healing. When you think about healing, you also have to think about grief and everything that these people have been through. And we're all familiar with the 5 stages of grief. You've met with the families. We've all met with the families throughout these last 2 years. Can you assess where they are right now in that process?
I really can't. I really don't want to speak for the families, but I can tell you, in the people that we've talked to, earlier in this newscast, I talked to a little girl who's in 6th grade, and her mom said part of the reason they came there today was so she could show her friends that she still remembered them. She was in a classroom right across from where this shooting happened, but it's also to help her heal. And you certainly get the sense that that has been a struggle for her and so many others in this community. That is a 6th grader. Now you go to somebody like Arnie Reyes, who was shot 3 times, who saw the gunman, saw some of his students die. For him, the grief is still very real. And he says there's not a day goes by that he doesn't wonder what if. He also says there's a day that goes by that he doesn't wonder why me. Why did I survive and some of my students didn't? And so there's just so many stages. And I think the division in this community makes it even tougher for the healing to continue. I think that there are both sides that feel very strongly about how they think this community should move forward. You know, in the meantime, you are seeing progress. Like I said, they're going to build a memorial, presumably behind where I am right now. They are rebuilding a new elementary school not far from where we stand that will replace Robb Elementary. At some point, Robb Elementary will be torn down. All that's still to be determined, and what's still out there is an investigation from the district attorney that hasn't been closed yet. She has not disclosed what she's found in her investigation or if she will put out a report and if she does when. So there's still a lot of questions that are hanging over this community even 2 years later.
Everyone making their own path forward in this process, and part of our commitment in that effort to move forward is to remember those 21 lives that were lost 2 years ago today. Steve, thank you.
Yeah, Myra, it's a commitment you and I made on the air that night, and we're bound and determined to stick to it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Steve Spriester, live in Uvalde. Thank you so much.
We'll be right back.
This weekend, a lot of people are heading to a nearby lake or a river to cool off, and Texas game wardens are reminding people to think of safety first because last year about 90 people drowned in Texas.
Some here in Bexar County, others were in Comal or Uvalde counties as well. Patty Santos spoke with the people who will be out there trying to keep boaters safe this weekend.
Out at Calaveras Lake, game wardens like Patrick Troop are going to be extra cautious of boaters.
During Memorial Day weekend, we'll have plenty of patrolling out, making sure that we're providing safety and help with the public.
Wardens will be stopping boats looking for these 5 things. First, ensuring there's a life jacket for everyone on board. Kids under 13 must be wearing the jacket when the boat is not docked.
If they're children, you're going to need a smaller one that specifically fits a child. What you really need to do is you need to look inside of these and take a look, and it'll tell you youth, it'll tell you chest size, and it'll tell you what the weight is.
Second thing, your boat must have a Type 4 throwable device,
which is your throw cushion. Each vessel needs one of these.
Third, have a horn or a whistle. 4, an updated registration card for the vessel.
The stickers on the front of the boat, it tells you what date the vessel is registered for.
And 5, a fire extinguisher.
Do yourself a favor before y'all go out, make sure that you have all these 5 items on your boat.
And one last reminder, make sure you clip on that kill switch.
If you're operating the vessel, you need to have a kill switch attached to your body.
Patty Santos, KSAT 12 News.
Okay, so game wardens also want to remind the people who are going to be operating boats that they have to keep their alcohol level under the 0.08 legal limit. Also, don't forget to clean up your trash.
Look outside with live cam. It's going to be plenty hot. You're going to want to find some water, some way to cool off this weekend. We're going to talk just how hot coming up.
We want to make sure that everybody has a very happy Memorial Day holiday. As we said before, this is the unofficial start of summer. A lot of people get excited. They start to bring out their boats now. They grill. But I'm thinking about, we've been dealing with droughts and all of that, Adam, for people who want to go out boating. I mean, lake levels?
Yeah. At the coast, you'll be fine, as usual. Head down to the coast, go fishing, wet a line, catch some nice reds and trout. Wish I was with you. Our area reservoir is not exactly doing so well in terms of water levels. Take a look at the latest numbers. Canyon 57.8% full. Yes, we're very specific, 57.8. That's 23 feet below the conservation pool. Medina, as usual, really low at 2.6% full, and Choke at 22.5% full. And we've got 3 other lakes there as well, and especially LBJ, very consistent in terms of its level typically. Buchanan, it's about 11 feet below the conservation pool. Obviously, we need rain, and the Guadalupe River just barely flown. It'll be a slow flow if you're tubing this weekend along the Guadalupe out of New Braunfels. Very slow flow. We talked about the smoke earlier. I want to show you the futurecast for the smoke in the air. And this is tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. We still have it very obvious tomorrow afternoon. So do anticipate a brief period of unhealthy air quality, at least the potential for that. So if you have a very sensitive respiratory system, take note of this smoke in the air again tomorrow. And then as we go into Sunday, still present, it's just going to thin out a little bit more compared to what we've had. You see the haze, especially if you take the flyover ramps, the really tall flyover ramps, you look off in the distance. This is how I judge visibility and haze. I always have a few landmarks that I can see on the flyovers I take daily, and I always look out to those to see, all right, just how hazy is it? What's our visibility? Sometimes 1604 and 281, I can see all the way to the power plant on the southeast side of Bexar County. Then you know it's very clear and unobstructed visibility. Can't even see downtown. I could hardly even see the airport from that 1604 flyover ramp earlier today. Anyway, moving on with temperatures. We're well into the 90s. 98 Port SA, Stinson 97, 95 officially. At the International Airport in town, Canyon Lake 93 degrees. But that's just part of the story. It feels like we're around 110. Get used to this for several hours in the afternoon. Heat index values at times approaching 112. That's what we'll be dealing with in the coming days. I wish we had some rain. It's all off to the north again, just like the past several days. It's all north of us. Now, some of this severe weather, unfortunately, the rain this time of year can come at a cost, and it is in and around Dallas, Fort Worth, with a few severe thunderstorms popping up between Waco and Dallas, especially along and around I-35 and I-20. This activity staying to the north of us. And you look at the rainfall potential over the next 7 days, and the vast majority of it is, again, in North Texas. Now, we have a little bit of potential around here, but that's just a 20% chance daily starting on Monday. Late on Memorial Day, that 20% chance, because in the evening we could have a little bit of activity develop or move our way from Central Texas. And then thereafter, every day, we have the potential of getting leftovers from West and North Texas thunderstorm complexes. So cross your fingers that we see some action develop next week, and then we could get the leftovers. This evening, just hazy, warm and humid. 10 o'clock, 85 degrees, midnight, 81. Every afternoon this weekend, we're right near 100. We do think we'll have our first 100-degree day on Sunday. By the way, that would tie the record for the day. Same goes for Memorial Day. The record high is 100. So record challenging heat this weekend.
All right.
Adam. Thanks, Adam.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. Today, the trial for Daniel Garcia continued. He's accused of the death of 5-year-old Dominic Aguilar Acevedo and then dumping the child's body in Colorado. During testimony today, a Colorado medical examiner took the stand. He said he could not determine how 5-year-old Dominic died. Testimony is scheduled to continue on Tuesday.
Tonight, a Westside community is mourning the death of a 4-year-old boy. Zayden Francis was hit by a car Tuesday night while he was walking alone through a parking lot. Now, Zayden passed away yesterday. People set up a memorial at the apartment complex where that little boy lived. San Antonio police say the driver who hit little Zayden is not facing charges.
Today, city and state leaders talked about the next steps for San Antonio to get a direct flight to Washington, D.C. In less than 60 days, the FAA will announce which cities are getting those new flights. Mayor Ron Nierenberg says American Airlines has submitted the application to get one of the round trips here in San Antonio. We'll see what happens. And that's your 60-second recap. Before we go, as part of a commitment we have made, we want to remember the 19 children and 2 teachers who died 2 years ago.
And here are the names and faces of the 21 victims at Robb.